Okay, those of you who are taking grammar and context, we are taking a look at the following sentence. We're planning and looking forward to our vacation to New York, where the weather is currently beautiful this time of year, but wondering how we will ever pay for it. Now, looking at this analysis, again, check your work to the example that I have here. This was done today, November 25th, 2019. This is sentence diagram number 3. Now, we begin with the main clause, we are, or the contraction we're. You could also have, let me get my drawing tool up here real quick. All right, so you could have we are as I have here, or you could have the contraction, since it's in the form of a contraction, the apostrophe re under the verb. So we have the personal pronoun and we have the personal pronoun we functioning as the subject, and then we have our verb phrase are. Now, you'll notice here this is how we're going to look at our verb. So we have essentially 3 different verbs or 3 different lexical verbs that are going to be part of our compound verb, looking at the present continuous verb tense. So we're going to have we are planning, we're going to have we are looking forward, and we are looking to, or we're looking forward to vacation, and then we are wondering. So all of these 3 different verbs are going to be part of our verb phrase that's going to come after the auxiliary verb are. Now let's take a look at planning. We are planning. Now notice where we have vacation. We have vacation, and we're going to have essentially a line that goes from top to bottom here to indicate, in fact I have it here after wondering, but after planning and looking we're going to have a line, a vertical line that is going to indicate direct object. So we're going to have a direct object here that is coming after the verb phrase. So a good way to remember whether or not we have a direct object is to answer the question, what? We are planning what? We're planning a vacation. We're looking forward to what? We're looking forward to a vacation. We are wondering what? And then we'll talk about the direct object of wondering here in a few minutes. All right, so let's continue with vacation here. So we are planning our vacation. So our is going to be our possessive adjective. We're going to have vacation as the noun functioning as the direct object. And then we're going to have the prepositional phrase to New York. To being the preposition, New York being the noun functioning as the object of the preposition. That's going to go under vacation. This is going to answer the question which. Which vacation are we going to? The one to New York. It's answering the question which. That's why the prepositional phrase to New York needs to go under vacation, because the prepositional phrase is actually functioning as an adjective. It's modifying the noun vacation. Now we're going to have, let's go back to our verb. We are looking forward to. So looking forward to is going to be our verb phrase. Looking is our verb, forward and to, we're going to treat those as adverbs. Actually, forward's going to be an adverb. We're going to treat to as a particle, looking to. It's you could consider it as a phrasal verb. Remember, when we have phrasal verbs, we have the verb itself, and then we have some sort of particle. The particle within a phrasal verb is going to look like a preposition. Although it's not going to function as one, it is going to look like a preposition. So here we have looking forward to what? Vacation. All right, so this is a compound verb, and we are connecting planning and looking forward to with the coordinating conjunction and. Now let's go on to notice where we have where and then weather is, let's see, in New York, where the weather is currently beautiful this time of year. So many of you correctly connected the clause with New York. Okay, so basically when you have a connected or a dotted line that in this case is connecting New York, which is a noun, that clause is going to function as an adjective. Many of you identified where weather is currently beautiful this time of year, identified this as a subordinating clause, when actually it is a relative clause. So remember the main difference between a relative clause and a subordinating clause. A relative clause is an adjective clause, functions as an adjective. A subordinating clause will function as an adverb. So anytime you have a subordinating clause, it's either going to connect to a verb phrase, or it could also connect to a verbal being a to infinitive, a gerund, or participial phrase. All right, so typically that's where you'll see subordinating clauses being connected to using a dotted line. But in this case, because it's connecting to New York, which is a noun, then we know that this is going to be a relative clause. Even though it has a relative pronoun where, this is a relative pronoun, we're still treating this as a relative clause because it's modifying the noun. All right, so we're going to have weather is going to be our noun functioning as our subject. We're going to have the linking verb is, and then we'll have predicate adjective, beautiful. Currently is going to be an adverb. Time is going to be an adverb, and this time is going to be an adverb modifying time. And then of year, this is a prepositional phrase. It's technically modifying time, so we can connect it here. We have of, the preposition, year, the noun, functioning as the object of the preposition. All of these are functioning as adverbs underneath the linking verb is in this particular case. Now finally we have we are wondering. All right, and so now we have wondering just under planning and looking, and we're going to connect these three, or these two, to wondering. We're going to connect it using the coordinating conjunction but. All right, so we still have just one subject and one verb phrase. Now I know some of you connected it using a dotted line over here with a but, and then you had an ellipsis, and I think I would put it all under this particular diagram, connecting it all in this fashion. All right, so let's continue on. Wondering what? Now we have a direct object. All right, so we are wondering what? We're wondering how we will pay for it. We'll ever pay for it. All right, so this is functioning as the direct object of the verb phrase are wondering. So here we have another direct object underneath here. This is still part of our verb phrase as I labeled up here at the top. And we have the word how. Now, I know we talked about how being expletive, and that's certainly one way to do it. In this particular case, I'm going to treat it as an adverb underneath the verb will pay. How will it pay? Well, the actual word how can be treated as an adverb. But if you have it as an expletive, I will give you credit. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with labeling it as an expletive. We have the personal pronoun we with the verb phrase will pay. This is a simple future. We have ever as an adverb, and we have the prepositional phrase for it functioning as an adverb. It's a prepositional phrase. For is our preposition. It is our object pronoun functioning as the object of the preposition. All right, so the main thing here that I saw after looking at all of your work is making sure that you include this third verb phrase as part of the one subject, the single subject and the auxiliary here. And be very careful with the relative clause. Anytime you connect it to a noun, that tells you right away that it's functioning as a relative clause, if in fact it is a clause. If it connects with a noun, to a noun or a pronoun, that's how it needs to be labeled. If it connects to a verb phrase or a verbal phrase, then it's going to be a subordinating clause. All right, so I hope this helps. If you do have any questions, feel free to reply to this, as I'm going to post this video to Microsoft Teams. So feel free to respond. And I would like, if you could, after you watch this video, if you could just indicate some sort of thumbs up in Microsoft Teams, just so that I know that you were able to see the video. And of course, if you have serious concerns or questions about what about this diagram, feel free to come by my office and we can certainly discuss this. Tomorrow we'll continue one more time working in teams, and we'll have another sentence to analyze. My recommendation for tomorrow, as you work in your teams, I would work as much as you can individually first for, let's say, 10, 15 minutes or so, and then compare notes with your classmates to see how much you can do on your own. Remember, tomorrow's going to be our last day that you're going to be able to work as a team. Starting on Wednesday and again on Friday, you're going to continue working on a similar analysis, but individually. So you will not be able to consult with your teammates. It will be individual. In all cases, you'll be able to use your notebook. So again, continue to look through your notebook and organize your notebook however you feel you need to in order to quickly access the information that you need for completing the analysis.